welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well and happy hump day. So I know I've made a few videos on shopping hauls and all this shit that I've been ordering online and not really talking about reselling. But today I'm going to talk about reselling, just reselling. I started out on eBay. That was my bread and butter. But over the past months, last 6 months, ever since last year in the fall, my sales have dropped. At one point in time, I had top rated seller performance. Then I was above standard. There's 3 levels, and then below standard. And I was still kind of satisfied because I was still selling on other platforms. I picked up trying to do more on Poshmark and Mercari. But on eBay, my seller performance rating went below average back in March. They reevaluate your account every month on the 20th. And I got notification. I'm like, what the hell? So I looked. Like, my shipping rate is fine. I get great reviews, 100%. I get 5-star reviews. But the problem came where I was selling on other platforms, whether I was doing a live auction or Poshmark. I would sell items on other platforms and then forget to delist the items on eBay. And then somebody would buy the item off eBay. And of course, I can't find the item because I sold it elsewhere. So that happened just a handful of times in a short amount of time. And so my seller performance went below standard on eBay. So with that being said, their punishment is you kind of like drop down in the algorithm so my items are not being seen. And also, they increase your seller fees. I'm like, okay, so, and I was just over the threshold. There's, when it came to, they call it seller defect, even though I didn't have the item in stock because I canceled it, they call it seller defect rating. So, to go below standard, your percentage has to be 2% or above. Well, I was 2.0%. So I was 0.04% above the threshold that dropped me to below standard. So during the month of April, I'm like, I gotta make some sales. I gotta make some sales to change that number. Well, I didn't make those sales. But anyway, actually I did make those sales. So when they reevaluated me on the 20th of April, I got my above standard rating back. And they sent me an email on the 20th that says your selling is back on track. Thank you for all the time you put into raising your seller game. Your efforts have paid off and your seller performance has improved. The temporary limitations on your account have been lifted. And you are all set back to selling. Temporary limitations meaning you're going to kind of sort of hide my items and the seller fees have been lifted. So I'm like, that's great. So in the meantime, I ramped up on posting new items on eBay, trying to get myself back in the game, posting items. And after the 20th, I believe on the 22nd, I sold 2 items, but I noticed that, man, I should be getting more back in profit after these 2 items because the buyers, they were paying for shipping. I'm like, what's going on? So I looked at each item and turns out they were still charging me the below standard seller fees of 6%. And there's some other fees that they charge anyway. But I'm like, oh no, let me call them and make sure that this is right. I tried to get an answer online, but I'm like, I need to talk to somebody. Don't you know, I talked to 3 different people. And they were trying to convince me that even though they reevaluated my account. Oh, yeah, you're above standard now, but you still get punished. I'm like, I don't understand that. So they escalated this phone call to the third person. And she basically told me, yes, your above standard performance is back. However, they do not really lift the restrictions until the May 1st, until the end of the month of April. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because I read her the letter saying that the limitations have been lifted. She says, no. I'm like, but that's what it says. She says, no, that's not true. So it won't be lifted until the end of the month, meaning, or the beginning of May. So I was so frustrated. I didn't yell or anything like that, but I was kind of hot. I said, I'll tell you what, since I'm still going to be punished by being charged higher seller fees, how about neither one of us make any money? So I went ahead and put my store on vacation. I said, you won't make any money off of me. Not that they made $1 million off of me, but it was the principle of it. Sometimes I operate on principle. Fine. You won't take away the limitations, even though the letter says that limitations have been lifted. I just won't sell anything. You won't make money and I won't make money. I'm not even going to worry about eBay until next month. So I put my store on vacation. Now, with eBay, you can still sell while you're on vacation. You can still allow orders, but the customer would see a notification before they purchase that your item won't be shipped until well after I come back from vacation. So right now my store is on vacation. I'll take it off vacation May 1st, and hopefully if I start getting sales again, the seller fees will be lowered back to above standard. So anyway, I haven't made any sales on eBay in a while. So anyway, so moving on. So I was talking to a friend, and we're both trying to figure out how to pivot and make this money, because both of us have tons of inventory. So I still go on Poshmark. I still jump in some live shows to try to chit chat and engage, but that can be so tiresome. And listen, I'm on here trying to chat when I could be cleaning my house, or I could be doing something else. It's very time consuming. And if you do get a sale, it's only for a small amount of money. Whatnot, I think I mentioned in another video how I'm kind of discouraged, but I still will go on. How I book a show, then I cancel it or reschedule it. But I'm having a show this Friday. I'm going to call it a Mother's Day bundle show, where I just bundle items together, and hopefully I will get some sales. But in the meantime, I'm like, Valerie, what else can you do? So I had heard about this app called Vinted. So Vinted is another online app where people can get on and sell and buy. But I get the sense that it's really for people that are really just wanting to get rid of these, the things that have just been kind of hanging around their house. Somebody made a comment on one of the Facebook groups, reselling groups, that, they don't like big sellers. It's not really for the person who has 10 of one item and they're trying to sell it. Basically for things that are hanging around your house, whatever. So I said, let me get on this Vinted to see what I can do and see what it's all about. And you can tell that, it's very low maintenance. Like, to list an item is very easy. However, you cannot list AI generated photos or stock photos. Okay, I'm like, okay. So what I decided to do was to list my low hanging fruit items from eBay, where I can just copy the photos from where I was not doing AI when I started way back when on eBay, where the background was yellow instead of white, or whatever the case may be. So copy and paste the title and description, listing is really easy. They took down one of my postings because I didn't realize it at the time. That when I copied a photo that I took myself, it has to be photos that you take yourself. A photo that I took myself of an item that I have on eBay, but I didn't realize that when I snapshot that photo and posted it on Vinted, that at the very bottom it said AI enhanced by eBay or something like that. So what I had to do was crop the photo. But they took that item down real quick. So I relisted it and I cropped the photo because it is a photo that I took, but I used AI via eBay. So anyway, I've been posting on Vinted for the past couple of days. I think right now I only have maybe 3 dozen items listed. So when I'm at work, if I have a 5 minutes or whatever, I would go ahead and post something. And literally everything that I've posted have gotten some likes, or people have done what they call tagged it as one of their favorites. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And would you believe I've already gotten 2 sales. Now these sales are not going to be big and huge, but I'm like, let me just get rid of stuff, just sell them dirt cheap, and see where it goes. The items that I have kind of mid-priced, let me just see how many likes I get, and then I can always go in and lower the price. So one item I've had since my very first day on eBay is this backpack. It's really cute, honey. I really thought that this was going to sell. I think I had it on for $20 maybe, or $18 on eBay. Nobody wanted it. So it just kind of just stayed in limbo. So I listed it for, I said, let me just drop the price. So I listed it for $9 and somebody bought it just like that. Oh, and here's the thing about Vinted. The reason I can sell really cheap is because right now they don't have seller fees. No seller fees. So I'm like, let me just post as much as I can, as quick as I can, as cheap as I can, because they don't have any seller fees. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they make their money, but let me just get the stuff listed. So this sold for $9, and you don't get paid until the buyer receives the item, and they get to choose, although I can't see it on my end, they get to choose how it's shipped. I list whether it's small, medium, or large, and they have guidelines. So on the other end, they'll choose how it's listed. So I think I listed this as a medium because it's, I hope it's less than 2 pounds. That's how I listed it, I think. Price by shipping. So we'll see. I sold that, and these pens sold this morning, like within hours of me posting it. I was at work, and these acrylic paint pens, I may have had them on eBay maybe for $18 or something. Soon as I posted them for $10, I got so many likes on this these pens, and somebody offered me $7. I would have taken the $7 at this point in time. All of this stuff that I've had for over a year, I'll sell it for half price. I don't care. But obviously I didn't respond, so somebody swiped it up at $10. So this was listed as a small item, so less than a pound. So I will ship this off right away. Again, I don't know what the buyer chose, whether they chose U.S. Postal Service or UPS. Either way, I listed it as a small. So I'm going to print out these labels. And I did get one other surprising sale on Poshmark. Thank God it was Poshmark. This game here. And I think I bought this maybe at the Salvation Army. I can't remember. Anyway, this game here, it's brand new sealed. I had it, I know on eBay, the comps were like $45, $50, so I priced it as such. And on Poshmark, I priced it the same. Honey, somebody offered me $25, or was it $20? Basically half price, $25, yeah. So I'll get 20. Poshmark takes 20% off the top. $25? Yes, ma'am, you can have this. I will ship out immediately. So this, and I'm so glad it was Poshmark because this game is heavy. And I think I have the shipping cost on eBay like $4.99, but it would cost way more than that to ship on by U.S. Postal Service. But Poshmark just has one shipping price, $6.95 that the buyer pays. So I have 3 orders. Woo! It's so pitiful. But I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, and since the lady with the backpack, since she was my first Vinted order customer, I will send a little gift. I usually don't do gifts unless it's live auction and people are buying stuff. Then I'll put extra in their box. But since she was my first, I'll leave her a little note and a thank you card and a little bag charm. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned. Hopefully this Vinted, because I'm going to be selling stuff for $10 and below just to get stuff out. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Have a great Wednesday. Bye.